Two, one. Hello, welcome to the Steam Release Podcast. We sift through the Steam release list so that you don't have to. I'm your host, Dewey Bear, and joining me today is the very red Roadypie.
Hi. Thank you for having me back again. Yay. I really look forward to this, and I'm really looking forward to the games that are on the list.
It's absolutely always a pleasure to have you. And you also, yeah, and it's just been going to be a really cool week, I think. But before we go into the new games, let's talk about the old games. So what have you been playing this last week?
So, streaming, I've been playing Wonder Song,
Mm-hmm.
which we did have spoken about on the podcast, and I got gifted it, and I thought, I'll give it a go because it looks so positive, and it's so happy and everything like that. And for me, it's been so stressful. It's been so stressful because it's not so much that the I suppose if you regularly play platformers, I suppose it's not so difficult, but it's they're so fiddly. I find this particular platform, the platform elements are very fiddly,
Mm-hmm.
and absolutely drives me insane. That, and the fact when you're not doing the platforming bits, you're going around towns and you're speaking to people, and maybe you have I'm at the point where you have to remember who shows up at what time, and you fast forward a clock and like to wait for them, and you have to wait, and you got to find out, and also where. So it's like I'm not got the best of memories. So it's like, oh, okay, who's supposed to show up here? What time is it supposed to be? Oh my god. So yeah, it throws all that sort of thing. And there are lots of different mechanics that are thrown in there. And so just not for me. So I find them very, a bit annoying. But I love the character. I love the people that he talks to as well. They've put a lot into, when you speak to people, like their personalities, and you trying to solve some people's problems and stuff like that. I really like that sort of thing. And you learn dances and things like that. So yeah, I love that aspect of it, but it's everything else. Yeah.
I feel like if I remember this game correctly too, that when we first saw it on the podcast, it had like very little attention. We thought it was like getting overlooked, and it's very, very interesting now to be looking at its page and being like, oh, look at all these rewards they've gotten.
Yeah, absolutely. So I did see that it was like a few game pundits and place like Destructoid might have mentioned it as well. It's like, it's got a few people that seem to have reviewed it, but I would have thought maybe after a bit more exposure than that it has gotten, I thought maybe at least 1,000 people would have picked it up. Maybe, you know what I mean? It's like a lot of it's been mentioned quite a lot, but I don't know. And what else have I been playing? Obviously, I've been dipping into Final Fantasy 14.
Of course.
My friends have how one of my friends did come back to play. We were starting like to play all together on the Saturdays, so that's really nice. Because they've all got time now. And what else? Oh yes, I did complete another game on my list. On my gaming list. So I got TikTok Isle. TikTok Isle has been on my list, and it's the same developer that did Merrily Perily that we spoke about.
Oh yeah, Merrily Perily. That game still has unfortunately not caught on yet, but But yeah, Merrily Fairly, it's on my wish list. I gotta get it soon. So
TikTok Isle it's a short game. You can complete it within 2 hours. But it's a sort of like time shifting game where you're a clock fixer, you're a clock repairman, and then and you get a phone call saying, oh, you have to go here and you have to fix this clock, and it's like a tower, and you first get there, it's completely abandoned, and you go to the clock and you fiddle with the clock and you go back in time to when people did actually live there, and you sort of interfere with their lives to make everyone happy and trying to fix. So you try to sort of fix their lives while trying to fix the clock as well. So it is, and there are also platforming elements in it as well. So there's these twins that keep challenging you.
Oh, yeah.
They're like kids. And you've got like a kitchen, long kitchen roll sort of thing, empty kitchen roll, and that's your sword, and you have to like complete their challenge by fighting through like their enemies and stuff. So it's cool. It's a lovely game. It's a lovely game. But yeah, it's a nice story, interesting elements, and although it's got platformer things that I'm not fond of, they're short and sweet. So yeah, nice short sweet
and
game.
this is of course clock.
TikTok.
TikTok. Yeah, that's right. TikTok Isle.
Mm.
Yeah, and for 2 hours, 99 cents. That's a pretty good. That's a pretty good time to. Time to gameplay, and excellent pixel art.
Yeah, it's really like charming looking and everything. And it's got nice music as well. Very nice, soothing music.
I do like the thematic thing of like the clock repairman being able to time travel. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah,
this is a cool feature.
Yeah, it's cool. What else did I play? So yeah, I completed that. Oh yeah, and I'm not sure if I spoke with you about it. I completed Robin's Quest. I'm not sure where I spoke about it last time I was here, but yeah, I completed that as well. So it was like a it's like a hidden object game, but there's a lot more point and click elements in it as well. And for the longest time, this game would not work on my Steam list at all. And I contacted the developers, and they said they were going to sort it or whatever. Or they said the people who were working on it did no longer work there, or something like that. And obviously I couldn't get a refund because like the games that I do buy, I kind of buy them and then not play them for a while, so that was annoying. So I was going through my list again, and I tried to boot it up and it worked, so I played through that and completed it. So that's
I guess they finally fixed it. That's good. Point and click and hidden object does work really well together. It's a good combination.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. It's okay. The game's okay, but as you're getting towards the end, they just put like a ton of hidden objects, puzzles in, and it gets like a bit repetitive. So yeah, but there's some other elements in there, like you almost like a rhythm game where you're doing a recipe and it's calling for this, like, oh, you have an apple, it's like, oh, I've got to cut the apples now, so you pick the apples, and then you've got to pick the knife when it tells you to. So yeah, that's an interesting thing. So they've thrown in a few things as well, and you collect people on your journey, so all like Robin Hood's merry men, you collect them as you go along, and they unlock different abilities for you. So that's it's got quite a bit in it, considering it's one of those like hidden object games. So
yes,
yeah.
And welcome, Justin24. Glad that you could show up. Hello.
Hey, Justin. Hello. So yeah, that brings my completed list of 159 so far.
Nice. That's of 500.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
of
571.
But half glass full.
There.
Half glass full.
Yeah, totally,
glass half
totally.
full.
Say
it in English.
And I got the Dark Side Detective gifted to me, so I am definitely going to give that a playthrough very soon.
Oh. Ooh, this. Oh, I like it. Pixel art once again. It's pixel art with a nice lighting and welcome to Twin Lakes. Oh, you always have to have like a place with the name Twin in it. It just makes it immediately. You're like, oh, I know I'm in for a wild ride now.
Yeah, this is an absolutely hilarious game, and I met the dev, and he was kickstarting the second Dark Side Detective game, and he had the demo for the second one, but also had the full game for this one, and they're all split into missions by themselves. So it's like, he said what he wanted to do was when he gets home from work, he wants to be able to boot up a game and play something for a bit, but also have the feeling that you finish something. So if you finish a mission, it's like, oh yeah, I played something and finished it today. So that's what the sort of feeling he wants. So yeah. Well, Justin too. Thanks for joining. But yeah, what have you been playing? What have you been playing?
So I've been streaming Portal Stories Mel when I'm up to it, and I have to say, it is. I'm so slow at solving these puzzles. I'm so slow, so you really get to watch me sort of struggle. But to be fair, what's nice is that because Portal Stories Mel isn't Portal 2, it's a mod of Portal 2, you don't have people in the chat going like, oh, I know how to solve this, because not as many people have played it, so you don't have people like necessarily who know the answer. They're scratching their head as much as you are. So it's kind of fun.
I was watching you play a bit yesterday, and it was like, it seems like very complicated, more complex than what I'd seen in Portal. So it was like, I have no idea. I couldn't suggest anything with you. When you got stuck, I was thinking, I don't know either, so I can't help you here. And
lately, it's not been a case of when I solve it, I'm like, oh, I was so dumb. Like, it's now like, oh, I solved it. How do I figure that out? Because, suddenly it's like it clicks, or suddenly you finally look in the right place. It's almost like a hidden object game in that way, in that you have to look in the right place to know what you're doing. And so you really have to just sort of keep investigating every corner of the map. Man, it's really fun. I would recommend to anyone, if you own Portal 2, get Portal Stories Mel. It's more of the gameplay you enjoy. It's an additional challenge, and Prism Game Studios is an excellent indie studio. So yeah, it's free, no risk.
Yeah, absolutely. If you like want to work that brain.
I've also been playing a lot of Terraria. So those of you who, this is a super popular game, so everyone pretty much knows about it. It's 2D Minecraft. I've been playing it with my cousins. I really didn't like this game at all at first, but I don't know, maybe it's over time, it's really started to grow on me.
No. I'm totally with you there. When I'd gotten this game, because everyone had got it, and it's really popular and everything like that, and it's indie, so I'd like it as well. And then I played for 2 minutes and said, no, this is terrible, because the controls were so unintuitive, didn't know what I was supposed to be doing, and it doesn't give you much of a way of like, oh, this is what you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, to me it wasn't good. And then my friend Spiral was just like, hey girl, why don't we all play this together? And I was like, but then they went off to go and play it, and I sort of joined in a little bit later on, and I was just hooked, absolutely hooked. So yeah,
it's really crazy too, because now that I've played it, and now that I have played it with my cousins and I've started to enjoy it and started to see that there's actually a whole lot of depth to it, I'm now even thinking of like, I should be playing it on my own time, on my own world, to get more familiar with it. So now I'm even gonna start to do that. So my cousins got me hooked on a game. For the longest time I was just like, oh, this isn't really that great, but it's really good.
I think it's fun when you're playing with friends. So I think it's so much better. I have tried playing it by myself, but no, the game comes to life much more when you're playing it with other people, I feel. Hey, Stingy. Hey. Thanks for coming along.
Glad to have you, Stingy. Oh yeah, it's definitely a good game to play with each other. There's a lot of systems to get used to though. There's like, when you don't know much, the game is just so daunting, but as you are gradually able to grasp things and starts to make sense, you start to feel a lot better about it.
Oh yeah. The people that I was playing it with, me and another guy had no clue, but we were playing it with someone who absolutely knew everything about it, so he could give us advice about it and everything, and tell us what we need to do, like what steps we need to take, where we need to go. So that made it so much easier and like so much more fun, because it's like, oh, why don't we work on this together, or why don't we build this together, or it's like, it was great, it was fun, like doing things together. I just like that thing of you playing a game and you do things together and you make something together and you achieve something together. That's just really a great feeling, definitely.
Yep, and it's regularly getting patched too, so the game, if you knew it once, it's probably entirely different if it's been a while since you played. So they're always adding new stuff, so it's very cool in that way. Yeah, that is Terraria. A game that I'm finally starting to enjoy, so glad about that. Besides that, I've been playing Final Fantasy XIV, of course, leveling an Arcanist, and doing all my crafting gathering stuff, so I still haven't gotten to Heavensward.
Oh.
Because I'm still doing a bunch of crafting gathering stuff, because I really enjoy that. Yep.
I see.
So,
yeah.
I got my brother into it now, so I got my brother too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
shall we jump in? Shall we jump in and?
Well, we do have one more additional topic. The gaming reports from the front. So
we do.
We have there's some games that we've talked about on this podcast, and Roadie has some reports from people who played them.
I do. So yes, we, the releases that we give, we get like an impression from what's put on, the trailer, and some of them we do play, but a lot of them obviously we can't play. There's just too many, but some of you have been playing them, giving them a try, and giving us feedback for them. So I'm going to give three feedbacks from them, and Seth was very good to give me feedback on two of them here. So one of them is Dog Jam. So that game that looked like what was it? Dev Tycoon. It looked a bit like that, but with dogs and cards.
Oh yeah, Game Jam, but yeah, it's Dog Jam, yeah.
Yeah. So he said it was, and I quote, amazingly bad. Amazingly bad. Because it didn't make any sense or explain anything. There's no tutorial. There's no like instructions on anything, and it looks like very daunting. Plus, it's the English translation isn't very good. So
oh yeah, this was originally a Chinese game.
Yeah, so yeah, sorry to say this is we put it out there because it looked very interesting and everything like that. We can't recommend it now because of those things. I mean, which is a shame because it does look interesting, but if they're bringing it to a Western audience and they don't incorporate certain things, then can't. It's a shame. It's a shame.
It's a shame. There's definitely been East to West games that have done a lot better in the recent past than this. So, any other titles?
Yes. So, the museum one, the OWW game.
Oh yeah, Occupy White Walls.
Yes. So, both he and his partner have played it, and Seth said it's a really cool thing. He just found it a little annoying, but his partner really enjoys it. He says he finds it genuinely really interesting. See what other people's impressions of what an art gallery can be, and once it's got you, the AI can show you really cool art for you to add. So, and he's also they're I think they're at a dinner party right now, and Josh is recommending this game to them. So that's great. But yeah,
so it definitely mileage will vary with this game. You have to be interested in the subject matter in order for it to really grab you.
Yeah, I think either going to be interested in arts, or you're going to be the sort of person that's interested in architecture and like building a space, because that's the thing. That's the main thing is you are building a space for art, instead of you're building a space for somewhere to live. So yeah, it's depends on how if your mind can sort of like work those sort of things out, because like your home is very different from like saying you're making an art space. So yeah,
it's also interesting if you want to practice with like 3D lighting and such, because you do like setting up statues, you get to experiment like what lighting gives the most flattering angles and which lightings really don't, and so it's there's just a lot of different things to do in this play box. But yeah, it has to be something that that has to intrigue you for hours at a time for it to be interesting.
Yep. And so yeah, that gets an approval, but obviously with a caveat.
Yes.
And the third game was is it second that card game?
Oh yeah, second. This one's on my wish list still.
Yes, yeah. So
will it remain on my wish list?
It remain there. So yeah, this is one. Give it 100% auto buy from Akio, and it's like just really enjoyed it, and yeah, this is 100% fantastic game for him. So if you guys like those kind of games, those kind of card battle games, yeah, that's definitely a thumbs up from Akio.
Okay, that's good to hear. So I'm definitely interested in that. This seems to be sort of like another, but a sci-fi Slay the Spire type game where it's all about take turns and you choose what order of you use the cards, etc. So it's got some definite mechanical differences, but it is, it's still, essentially sci-fi Slay the Spire. So
yeah.
Let me see. Yeah, that's all the reports from the front.
Yes, I'm afraid so. I hope in future, I will come back with a few more, maybe a few of my own, maybe. So I mean, we have had four reports if you count my Wonder Sog reports.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And
not bad.
please do stop by and just let us know about, if you checked out a game because of the podcast, or if you checked out a game at all that was like fairly new out. Just let us know. We would love to know your impressions and be able to share it with the viewers. So,
absolutely, yeah.
Maybe we'll save you some money or empty your wallet. One of the two. So
fun.
Yes. So before we get to the release list, there are 3 honorable mentions that we don't want to spend too much time on, but they did come out this week, and we just want to let you folks know that they exist. First of all, we have X4 Foundations. X4, I do believe this is a 4X game. No, it's a simulation space sandbox, so maybe not a 4X. Just called X4. But yeah, it is a space game, very, I don't know about very high budget, but the budget definitely went into this title.
Yeah.
And it's got mostly positive reviews currently, so it's kind of a bigger game. It's out there. It's got, a lot of people have checked it out. It's from the developers Egosoft, which I do believe are fairly well known. Oh, yeah, they do a lot of
Yeah. This is
this is their series.
Yeah. So if you have played this series, or you're thinking of maybe getting into this series, something for you.
Universe simulation. Okay. My word. Yeah, I'm not really into simulations, but that's very interesting. It seems the current fan base is fairly happy, so if you want to jump into on the X series, this might be the one to jump in on.
Yeah, this is a single player experience. So I do know people that are like sort of into those kind of trade space games sort of thing, but they prefer it multiplayer.
You just have to deal with the AI pirates, not the player pirates.
Yeah, this is it. So but yeah, if you want a single player experience, then and like those kind of space games, then this is for you.
Yep, get immersed in space. Oh, that one vessel looked mildly phallic. That was pretty funny. Okay, I'm 10. Another honorable mention is Saboteur. This game is an honorable mention mostly because it actually came out in 1985.
This is a remastered version, yeah.
Yep. This was for the the Commodore?
ZX Spectrum.
Oh, ZX Spectrum? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, this is kind of like kind of like my sort of childhood sort of thing, these kind of games. So this was my brother's sort sort of childhood as well. So it's like, I asked him, I says, oh, do you remember, did you ever play Saboteur? And he was like, what, the ninja game? And I said, yeah. And he says, oh no, he wasn't so much into the ZX Spectrum, but I if you have that sort of nostalgia, and especially if you do retro streams on Twitch, then I guess this is something for you to pick up for sure. I just wanted to point this out to people that were, like their retro gaming history sort of thing. So yeah.
Yep, ninjas always beat pirates. It's a fact, Justin. Absolutely. But yeah, I'm so excited to see a lot of these old games that you really cannot play anymore. But now they're coming onto Steam. It's just, oh yes, it feels like it really warms my heart because it's sort of preserving this experience of the past. Like, I mean, just recently there's something going on YouTube. They're removing annotations completely now, and so it's just like unless it's like the end page where you can make an end page where it links to other videos, but the annotations, like, remember how there was like Choose Your Own Adventure YouTube series and stuff with the annotations?
Yeah, I did remember those.
None of those are gonna work anymore. And I was just thinking about like how many people are like, oh, just click the annotation here. That's not like they're gonna be clicking to something that doesn't exist. They're gonna be pointing to something that doesn't exist. And I was just like, wow, that's gonna be something. It's just a mild thing, but it's something that people getting on YouTube now, you know, the 12-year-olds started, 12, 13-year-olds starting to get on YouTube now, will have no concept of once they remove that. So it's very interesting. They'll just look at older videos and think people are insane, like, click this.
Yeah, it's like, what? That's a shame. That is such a shame. But yeah, hello, Buffoon Batman. I'm glad you could pop in and say hi to us. But yeah, I'm glad this is here, and this is made with the original developer in collaboration with.
Oh yes,
in collaboration with the original developer.
So it's not just someone, stole his intellectual property.
Exactly.
And so that's fantastic. Final honorable mention is Mittelborg, City of Mages. Mittelborg? I don't know.
Mittelborg.
This is like a city, like your city management game, maybe?
This is like a strategy game. It's turn-based strategy, roguelike survival sort of game. So I just love the little animation sketches and everything. The artwork for it is really nice.
Yeah, they definitely did that. This kind of reminds me a lot of sort of browser games where you sort of select choices and it's going to change outcomes, etc.
Yeah.
And it will like visibly change how the city looks.
I really like that.
These can be and it goes to the seasons, which is also a nice touch. These can be good. I have no idea whether this one is any good, but it does have a positive review score at the moment.
Yeah, it's also in early access, remember? So
it is in early access?
Yeah, so caution on buying right now if they then decide to make major changes to it in a future patch.
Oh, Justin, they definitely use the Darkest Dungeon aesthetic, but it's definitely not Darkest Dungeon gameplay.
Yeah.
For sure. So, if it is early access, I'm curious if they're actually going to have a more gameplay interface coming out. So, yeah.
So one for us to follow then to see what happens.
See what comes of it. Maybe when it has its full launch, we may end up talking about it again if it turns into something.
Yes.
And with that, we're done with the honorable mentions. We can get into the meat of the show, which is the release list. We're only 30 minutes in. We'll start the release list. Let me see. So Monday, November 26th, the first game is going to be a story-based title, The Crown of Leaves.
Yes. So this game has been mentioned around the point and click community because it's got beautiful artwork, a very interesting story, and it's a lovely it's done by an indie developer as well. So it looks like it's a mashup between point and click and visual novel, from what I can see. But yeah, it's guys have watched the training, you listening to the guy, to me, I've got certain opinions about it, but I'll let Dewey tell everybody what he thinks of it first.
So story-wise, it is kind of interesting that it seems to be about sort of a mundane task. Like, this guy, he works as a jeweler. He makes gems. He's not some adventurer. He's not some hero. Just makes gems. So that's a somewhat intriguing thing. It's
Yeah, and then he moves. Then he moves.
And then he
to a
moves,
new
and then there's going to be
city.
this whole like murder mystery thing going on.
Well,
So
he moves and he is involved. He gets like he goes to university and he studies something else because he didn't like his mundane job, and then like he didn't want to be a jeweler. He wanted to do something, be something special. So he got this education in something, and the city he was in had so many interesting myths and tales, and he was exploring those. And then because of what he's exploring, he got into trouble with that, with the local mafia, and then so he had to go back home. He had to escape back home, and now he's back to being a jeweler. And now that has brought him all sorts of problems because someone has given him very expensive material. So like from another local mafia or something has given him materials to make a piece of jewelry for their sister, who is in the government or something, or is the ruling person of that particular area or the land. I can't remember, but yeah, it's.
And if you're making jewelry with rare, possibly magical items, it's possibly not. It's possibly for nefarious reasons. So
Yes, yeah, exactly. So as you could hear me explaining all the things, and also Dewey explaining the things, there seems like there's so many plates spinning in that narrative. It's like, oh, we had to remember that he came from this particular place, was a jeweler, went to somewhere else, did these things, this, that, and the other, then got threatened by the mafia, had to go back home. There's
yeah, there's a lot of lead up, and hopefully in the game itself, it takes you through that gradually, the entire thing. And this is just a summary video, because if it starts out with this summary video in the game, and it just starts out with that, and it gives all these different plot beats, and doesn't let you experience those plot beats one at a time through gameplay instead, it could. That's a difficult setup to pull off correctly. So
well, it's funny you should say that, because the game is about 2 hours long.
Really?
Yeah, it's about 2 to 4 hours. 2 to 4 hours. So yeah. I'm
So it's only 2 to 4 hours long. How do you? That makes me think that they may be like that's.
This is one chapter. There's going to be more chapters. And this developer also has a Patreon as well. So
either the trailer spoils half of the first episode, or the first episode starts with that trailer basically, and then you're just picking up from where you left up, from where that leaves off.
Yeah. Yeah. This is why I was like a bit dubious about this game, because although I can see why when you're doing point and click games, like they do it by chapters, and that's great. But what happens when you start playing something and then it takes them about maybe 2 years to come out with a second chapter? You kind of already forgotten what happened in the first chapter.
Indeed.
And then there's just so many plates spinning with the narrative. I'm not sure how well they've constructed this story, if it's all over the place or what.
Guys, indeed, I would have my doubts on the story in that situation, because it's that's a lot of stuff you're trying to do at the same time. It's for 2 to 4 hours. That's the price tag isn't terrible. At least it's not a $10 game. But it's
$3.99 for the UK.
It's like you should be showing, not telling, and if like they really it shows more confidence in their narrative if they don't have to give you anywhere near as much information set up. Akiho, you're here. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome.
Akiho. Hi. No worries. We're just on the first game.
Yeah, the first of the release.
Yes. So no worries. But yeah, I'm going to kind of put it on my wish list, but it's more to keep an eye on it to see how soon like chapter 2 comes out, see what other people have said about it. It's gotten very positive reviews so far, so that's 98% of people. And there's 130 user reviews, so that's pretty good. Yeah, so I'm happy with to keep an eye on it.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, Akihiro, you were correct. It's just that we had we ended up talking about a lot of stuff before we actually got to the list, so
yeah,
it worked out perfectly for you. As far as the Crown of Leaves, visual novels aren't really my thing, but if it is like the best visual novel there is, I will definitely check it out. If it turns out to be a really good visual novel, I will probably check it out. But visual novels just typically are not my thing. Again, it's like, because visual novels, it's a lot of, by its very nature, it's a lot of tell, not show. Reading. Yeah, it's a lot of reading. And I do prefer.
I'm hoping it's going to be a bit more point and click than visual novel, but we'll see.
Yeah, I do definitely prefer sort of doing things, and that brings the narrative with it. Even though I'm a fan of cutscenes, of course.
Yes.
And with that, we are Crown of Leaves. It's possibly, I guess we've said it's a possible wish list item for people who like visual novels. Sort of what we settled on. Probably not an instant buy, but yeah.
It's a, depending on how much of a point and click element is in it, it might be a really good point and click stroke visual novel. But if you are going to play it, you are going to have to wait until the second chapter is going to come out to get the full story, or how many chapters they're going to put into it, and that might put a lot of people off.
Indeed. The next title is Incredible Mandy. This is a sort of an RPG platformer adventure, puzzle platformer adventure. It's definitely caught my eye with its sort of neat, bright, colorful aesthetic. I'm a sucker for that. And just some of the puzzles, like they do have some videos that are just straight gameplay. This is actually not their best trailer. So their latest video, but it's got a great soundtrack. The overuse of bloom, I hope you can adjust that in the settings to reduce bloom. Most games allow you to do that because it's a little excessive, guys. But it's sort of that minimalistic, like they don't use more texture than you need. It's very much kind of a storybook kind of look, and I'd appreciate that. I appreciate it when you have a budget and you put that budget towards gameplay and don't waste it on visuals that don't have to be AAA. So look good.
It's like the game when I was playing Earthlock. It looks a bit those sort of aesthetics. So, I like those kind of aesthetics, and I see a lot of games like that at EGX Res. Yeah, for RPG, it really works for those sort of RPG type games for sure. Yeah. But I'm interested in the story because it says, following a tragic events, two siblings lost their memory of each other. Sum up your light sword and traverse 8 distinct levels packed with puzzles and boss fights to uncover the truth between the brother and sister. So, there's...
Amnesia, the best plot device.
Yes.
Just the best plot device.
So, I want to know. I kind of want to know what's going...
But yeah, as far as the puzzles, like this gameplay trailer that's up right now sort of shows you the kind of stuff you have to deal with. Like, it's sort of like Portal in that way, in that you have to put some things in one place, then you have to backtrack and move things to another place to allow you to continue. So it definitely has that sort of with minus the portals, but different sorts of mechanical puzzles, that sort of thing going on. And I like that. I like that. It's, yeah.
I'm glad you're enjoying some of the games we presented, Batman.
Yeah, I'm glad. As long as we help you find one game, we have succeeded. So
yeah,
Incredible Mandy is definitely going on my wish list. It just ticks so many boxes for me. It's not really been. It hasn't seemed to have caught traction yet. It's got 83% positive reviews of the 12, and it's looking to be about a 6-hour game, which at $15 might be a little steep.
Ooh, yeah. So it's $11.39 in the UK.
Yep.
So yeah, maybe a game to
wait for a sale.
For the sales. For me, I'm not a big platformer type person, but this is something that I would like to sit and watch somebody else play, because especially if there's this story unfolding, it would be something that'd be nice to sit back and watch someone else do. Yeah, so yeah. So if you're getting it, I might drop into your stream.
Yeah. There's also an impressive number of biomes in this game too for an indie project. Like it's not one zone. There's a lot of these different areas, and it seems that's kind of like you reach the castle or the fortress or whatever the region is, and it's all about getting from one end to the other kind of thing. And that's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Very, very good looking.
Yeah, it's really beautiful.
Oh, my word. So, I definitely hope... it's gotten some good reviews. Oh, this is probably a Chinese-developed game, considering the two languages are English and Chinese.
Okay.
Probably a Chinese development. Let's see, Dotoyo Games? Yes, it does have a free demo. So, if you're unsure about the full purchase, and knowing that it's only going to have 6 to 7 hours, there is a free demo to check out. So... which I love free demos because at the very least it lets you see if their engine works and whether it's going to be a laggy, low frame rates, etc. So that is the huge plus of having a demo. So I appreciate that. And yeah, let me see. It does look happier looking. According to Akiho, it looks like a happier looking American McGee's Alice in gameplay. American McGee's. McGee's Alice? McGee.
Oh, Alice. Yeah, Alice. You know the game Alice? Yeah.
Oh, the game Alice. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'd find. I don't know if that's a Steam game, but I've never actually heard of Alice. But.
Oh, yeah, and I might have that on my list actually. Maybe, because I'm pretty sure Alice platforms Alice in Wonderland, the Dark Ones.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I'll have to let me see. Alice in one. So is it Alice in Wonderland? No.
No, it's Alice.
Just Alice. Just Alice.
Yeah.
Let's just search. Nope.
Yeah. Is it Alice the Madness Returns? Is that it?
There's so many games with the word Alice in the title.
Alice the Madness Returns. I don't think it's on Steam any longer, but it is on my Steam list. So
okay. May not be on Steam anymore.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
But Alice 3 is coming out soon, so apparently.
Oh, that's neat. Okie doke. Oh, one of those that went missing due to licenses and such. Yeah, there's been some of those. I believe last week there was a few games that ended up disappearing. But we have still more releases. So Monday, the last game from Monday is Trap Labs. Which I'm sure as soon as you look at it, you're gonna immediately think of a certain aesthetic. So, Yeah. So this is Trap Labs. It's basically a puzzle game. A lot of timing puzzles and figuring out, where you're supposed to go when. And it is actually multiplayer, so you can bring your friends in and possibly screw each other over.
Yes, online multiplayer and online co-op as well.
Mm.
So, and cross-platform multiplayer as well.
Yep, it has sort of a Cartoon Network aesthetic.
Yes, Fairly Odd Parents. That's right. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. Fairly Odd Parents. Yep. Pretty much. Although it's just an indie dev. I don't think they're at all in any relation with
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Cartoon Network.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking, is someone going to come down and slap their wrist for this obvious?
Yeah. The art style is so eerily similar that I wouldn't be surprised if it's all unique art. Absolutely, I would not be surprised. But I am definitely curious whether the art is too similar and whether Cartoon Network is going to try anything.
Well, what's his name's the kid in the show? Wasn't his name Billy?
Billy? Yeah, Billy. His name's Billy.
Yeah, so, this guy is called Billy as well. So follow Billy's ascent on Trap Labs building in pursuit of pocket money in this online action puzzle. Dodge trapdoors, spikes, vortices, cats on rumbas, salary chickens.
You got me there.
And other weird things to survive. It's a game inspired by the strange combination of RTS games and cartoons from the early 2000s.
You mean a specific cartoon? Oh, Timmy. It was
Timmy. Oh, okay.
Timmy.
All right. So yeah, this is a totally different boy. His name's Timmy.
Boy.
That guy was Timmy. This guy's Billy.
Well, you know what? If they can get away with it, kudos. The art, the art style is very cute, and I think folks have pretty much enjoyed it so far. It looks like it's about 3 to 4 hours long. Well, 4 hours on the upper end. And it's $7.50. So
wow. It's on sale right now here, so it's 25% off, and so it's £5.39.
But as is the case, like these types of puzzle games, the length of the game is really going to depend on how smart the player is. So that's also part of it. Same with Mandy, Incredible Mandy. Is it only 6 hours for really good people, like really people who are really good at puzzles? But yeah, so.
Yeah,
or is it 2 hours for people who are really good at puzzles? So,
but also, you play this multiplayer as well. You might get a lot
adds
more
a new
out
dimension.
Of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's got multiplayer. Personally, it's I have no sense of rhythm, so these sorts of games are a lost cause for me.
Same.
Yeah, but
I'm mousy-handed. So that's not a good game for me, but maybe someone would find it interesting.
Beat Portal 2 in 5 minutes. You mean like in 5 streams? Portal 2. Well, I guess it wasn't a. Oh yeah, it took me like 5 streams because I played the single player campaign, and then with Stingy Tamale, I played the multiplayer campaign. So
I see.
I don't think we finished the hard mode stuff yet, though.
Oh.
That hard mode sucks. Yeah, so Trap Labs. I recommend it to people who enjoy puzzles and have a sense of rhythm. But
and maybe want to play with friends as well. Yep.
So, and it's got a cute aesthetic. It's definitely going to bring you back to the 2000s. Yeah. So, with that, there were no real games that kept on the list for Tuesday or Wednesday. So on to Thursday, November 29th, which has a lot of games to talk about. We are starting with Parkitect.
Research shows you loved Funtown City.
So who here liked Roller Coaster Tycoon? Particularly 1 and 2?
I think I played the first one. Yeah.
Submarine sea,
oh yeah, we didn't start the hard mode? Okay. We'll have to do that eventually for sure. But yes, Parkitect.
Inside of our own, and that's just
yeah, Roller Coaster Tycoon or nothing at all.
Yeah.
This is I mean I like simulated games like you know those sort of city builders. Yeah, I like Roller Coaster Tycoon. I like anything like SimCity or there was another one as well that I really liked. It was about Transport Tycoon. I really liked that. And I also got Planet Coaster as well. So you know I've played that, and I have played a tower building game on my stream before. It's a nice sort of relaxing. I like it. It's a nice relaxing sort of thing. Yeah.
So with not Portal. Let's get my mind off Portal. Roller Coaster Tycoon. So with Roller Coaster Tycoon, I really love Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 and 2. Because like 2 was basically unimproved 1. Like it was just 1 but better. Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 lost the plot, and I know there's plenty of people who liked it, but it went kind of it got rid of the grid and it went full like very it went full 3D kind of thing. And I felt it didn't do their transition well because you're adding all these additional dimensions. It just didn't feel like as smooth of an experience anymore as like Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 and 2 did. And that's what has me really interested in Parkitect. So Planet Coaster is really more of like Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 done right. While Parkitect seems to be a new iteration on the Roller Coaster 2 style gameplay. And that's what has me very interested. So, yeah.
This has just come out of what do you call it? Early access. Yep. This has just come out of early access. So I don't know. It's very interesting, and comparing it. You know, I've been reading what people have been saying, and I comparing. Not comparing because I obviously haven't played it. But from playing Planet Coaster, there's like certain things that I would want in this game, and also would look out for in other sorts of those sort of simulation management builders. It needs to have like a tutorial, a playable tutorial, because Planet Coaster does not have that. Planet Coaster has YouTube videos that I expect you to go on and look to see how to play it. Absolute nightmare for me. I know some people were perfectly fine doing that. Absolutely fine, because you know it's like, oh, okay, watch this, and then you know go away and make your own. But for me, it's like, no, I need to get like a proper feel of it. I need to get proper UI. I don't want to have to. How do I do this? Look for a video, then have to watch all the way through the bloody video. I don't want to have to waste my time doing that. You could have put in a proper tutorial and me to learn doing that, and me coming away saying, that's in, I've learned that now because I've done it, if you know what I mean. The interface also in Planet Coaster isn't very intuitive at all. A few people have said this. I certainly found that as well, because it's like when you're trying to find certain things, you have to open up the menu and then open up another menu and then open up something else, and you having to scroll through so many things. So yeah, it's I did have to put it down, and I haven't picked it back up again because I just wasn't having fun. So
And I have heard that a
hoping-
lot about Planet Coasters, that it's almost like you're working with a game engine and you're not really working with a game as much, because there's so
Yeah.
much you can do with it, but it's to such a huge degree that it becomes overwhelming. So,
Yeah.
yep. Parkitect, looking at the gameplay and looking at the UI that they do show in the videos, it looks eerily, like super eerily similar to Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, and that also has me interested. This seems to be sort of a very much just sort of a modernized version of that, and that has me excited. So, yeah. Now, as far as tutorial, hopefully they added it with the campaign, which apparently they added, with its full release. They added the campaign mode, and that's generally what campaign mode is for, is to kind of teach you and guide you, at least in Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 and 2. No guarantee, but you know what? This is going on my wish list, and I am really tempted to pull up my wallet and get it.
Well, I mean, this is definitely going on my wish list. I've had this on my wish list for ages, like since it was in early access, and I've been waiting for it to, come out of early access, and to see what people have said about it. But I became a bit more cautious after I played Planet Coaster. So I'm hoping, maybe you will give it a go and you will tell me exactly what you like about it, what you don't like about it. And based on that, based on your judgment, maybe, I might give it a go. So yeah, I'll wait and see.
Absolutely. I am so eager to check out this game. So, yeah.
It's £23.79 in the UK, so...
Funnily enough, this sort of game is the type of game that I would play a ton. So I would play through the campaign, and then what I would do is I'd play with the map editor. And I wouldn't even put rides in the map editor, I would just make the map editor. Like, I would make mountains and islands and valleys, and like this sort of grid setup where you can kind of place it. I had so many hours of fun on that, and I'm just kind of looking forward to doing that again, because I think my parents still have the CD for Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, and this looks so good. I'm really excited.
Yeah. Oh, I have City Skylines Stingy Tamale, but yeah, there's a good mention of that one as well. Yeah, that's always fun. And also the one I have given put a lot of time into is Project High Rise as well. That's really really nice game to play if you like sort of building offices and or apartments in a building, and you're making that building. It's quite nice. That sort of management thing. It's a good one to play.
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
So yeah, we're both excited about
Yes,
Parkitect. So yeah.
If and I was looking at like the hours down here, there's people with 79, 50 hours on this game, 100 hours. So $30 I really don't think is too much to ask for this sort of game.
No.
You're probably going to get many, 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 many hours of enjoyment out of it. That said, we do have December, like we're in December now, there's going to be Christmas sales, so who knows? But I do definitely think they are trying to go for that AA price range. So, because this, and if it's got the quality for it, which the reviews seem to imply it does, then yeah. It probably deserves it. Now, from bright and cheery to not so, we have the next game, which is so aptly titled The Hardest Dungeon, which also has a free demo, by the way. But yeah,
Stingy Shamali wants to go back to October. It's not ready for Christmas.
Yes. Oh, and Winter's Day is going to be coming into Guild Wars 2 very soon. So I think not this next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after this next Tuesday. So.
What's that?
Guild Wars 2 is the MMO has a Christmas event, Winter's Day, and there's going to be a ton of stuff to do with that. So
I see.
Stingy's going to be busy. The Hardest Dungeon is a roguelike ARPG. So basically, you are this party. You only have one avatar. So basically, you just choose which person is on top and which persons you're attacking with. and they each have their own separate health bars. And being a roguelike, I do believe, like, you know, there's definitely, like, deaths are punishing. You get knocked back, but there's still some permanent level of progression. The pixel art is good. I wouldn't say the best quality. There's certain stylistic decisions that don't seem to match that great. But, you know, pixel art nonetheless, it's passable. It doesn't look like amateur work, but it doesn't have that polish, that really nice polish that I've seen in a lot of pixel games on Steam lately. But it definitely doesn't look bad. Their use of color theory is a little weird at times, but I'm definitely impressed with the game visually. And as far as gameplay, I'm not a roguelike type person, but ARPG controls are really nice, and the fact that you have like multiple health bars, you can kind of switch between your characters. It makes it a bit more survivable than a lot of roguelikes, where you can just be playing one character. And it's just sort of neat where it's like you're not just developing a single character, you're developing your party. Like, you're leveling up your party, their skills, their abilities. And that's kind of cool. I do find that really neat.
Yeah, I quite like there's you've got a team of people and you sort of like switch them in and out, and that's kind of cool. I mean, it's not sort of a game that I usually play, but it you know, I know a lot of people that play these kind of games, and you know, like Into the Gungeon and that sort of things, and of course Binding of Isaac. So it's nice that there is another game like this, but you've got a team of people that you can help you get through the dungeon. So yeah, it's really good.
The important thing for them to get right for this game, which, you know, games like Into the Gungeon do, is that, yeah, they seem sort of like these endless, like, oh, you die and it puts you back, but it has to be designed in a way that it puts you back, but not as far as you were before. So you always start slightly further ahead, and it's just kind of this very gradual, long-term journey of getting better and better and better, and that's the whole point of a roguelike. And games that do it successfully, like Darkest Dungeon, people play for hundreds of hours and don't regret any of it. So it's important that this game gets that right. Yeah. On the bright side, there's a free demo, and it's only $7. Like, if you do buy it.
I have a little thing here. So there was like a bit of a worry because, like, someone would say, someone who is allowed to play games at their workplace put this game onto a onto their drive, put it onto the computer, and then the IT guy came down and said there's like a virus. It looks like there's a virus on the computer. But apparently it was just like a false negative in the game or something like that. Oh, sorry, false positive. So
really,
yeah.
So the hardest dungeon, really?
Yeah.
So
he said he checked out his computer and he said, you know, it was like his computer was all right, but I would see more things, you know, see more people, see what they, you know, have said about it, because a lot of people that have given like early access reviews on this. So, but I would wait to see if there's like a proper review, someone that actually played it. So the developer has also developed something else as well, and it's like
sort of racer game.
Yeah, like it looks like Outrun.
Oh, my 1980s dashboard. Oh, I like it.
So yeah, but yeah, it's not on my wish list. And it is it's 10% discount now. It's £5.40, but yeah, I would wait. I would wait a little bit to see if there was any reviews after the full release.
Yeah, I think I'm probably gonna also hold off. I am always excited to see new pixel art roguelikes to come out. but I already have enough on my wish list to check out before this one. I know I'm going to be checking out before this one, like Into the Gungeon. I still need to play. So after I'm done with Into the Gungeon, I may definitely come back and give this one a look. So, yeah, I may definitely. Oh my gosh, too many modifiers.
Keep an eye on it, basically.
Yep.
Something to keep an eye on.
Keep an eye on it. And if anyone else does check out the hardest dungeon, please let us know what you thought about it.
Yeah.
And our next title. Oh, I guess there's a demo. I could try the demo. But anyhow.
Yes.
There is NAIRI, Tower of Shirin. This is another sort of visual novel point and click game?
Yes. Yeah. This was on Kickstarter. It's been 2 years in development, and I would have to say, with anyone who is ever thinking about doing a Kickstarter, this is how you do Kickstarter right. Because these guys have always up. If you look on their comment section, you can't really see anyone saying, "Where's an update?" which is always a thing with Kickstarters. And developers think that, oh, I've got nothing to show, or whatever. It's like, people that put money into your game need to know that you're still working on it, no matter where you are in the game. If you need to take like maybe a 2-week break or something like that, or just let people know. And these guys have like constantly updated people with the development of the game, and it's something I did back, so I'm happy that it's out, and there are cute mouses in it, so of course I backed it. So but I would need to give it a good playthrough first, to let people know how it is, what it's about. But it looked interesting. It looked like it had an intriguing premise of like you're playing, you're either a thief or you're investigating something else. You're like this young upper class girl, and you're trying to find out about your past, or you're escaping something. I can't remember whether it's you're escaping something, or you're trying to get back into your place in the world, sort of thing. So it's all mysteries and everything, and I think you have a mousy companion, so that's always good.
Yep, and it just has this sort of nice, got this really nice sort of cheerful aesthetic, very kind of chibi and cute looking. I do appreciate that it's like not every visual novel has to be sexy, and this one definitely has a nice uniform art style. They've got very detailed backgrounds, and yet it somehow still works with the sort of chibi characters.
This is it's not like your average visual novel where there's probably like 5 backgrounds or something like that. This is beautifully illustrated and just fantastic artwork. And I like when they said they haven't put in voice actors in because they want that sort of for a reason, that they want like the animal creatures to have that sort of little noise of that sort of gibberish sounds, sort of thing. So
and it's a lot cheaper. Save money.
Oh, Maud's here. Hi, Maud. Hey, this game's got Roadie written all over it. Also, hello, Roadie, and everyone. Yeah. I mean, it's got a mousey in it, Maud. It's cute. It's got a mousey in it. Yeah, and I love like those visual novels. So yeah, I'm. It's $8.99. I'd have to see how many hours are in it. So
yeah. I see everything from this Russian review of 0.8 hours to 10 hours, 8 hours, 0.8 hours, 8 hours. I am seeing a lot of like 8-hour though, 12 hours. So I would say that you're probably safe saying the game's probably an 8-hour long experience. Probably safe in saying that. So 8 hours, $9-10. It's a fairly fair price comparison, but it definitely people underestimate point and click games, and I think it's often because it's a formula just like mobile games. There are really great mobile games out there, just like there are really amazing point and click games, but because the formula has to be balanced so perfectly, it has to take advantage of the medium, it has to take advantage of the design to its fullest, and most developers do not have the chops to do that. So, and that's why you have so many garbage point and click games and so many garbage mobile games, is because it's a hard type of game to develop for. But this is one of the really good ones.
I hope so. I mean, I'm going to, I about the Kickstarter, obviously have, the code ready to go. So I will probably give this a playthrough in the new year, and I will let this is what I'm going to report back to you guys, whether thought it was any good or not. So
all right, thank you very much. We'll have a report from Roadie in the future, so in a future podcast. And after this we have again we have a wide variety of games this week. So another game from Thursday is Rival Megagun. This is a multiplayer shmup. I mean, there's a single-player campaign, but you're always up against a rival, basically, even if it's an AI rival. So, yeah, it's a shmup where you can try to screw over the other person who's playing next to you. So, it's
like a classic arcade game. Yep,
very classic arcade game. And for that reason, they definitely follow the sort of formula for it, and you know what? That's not a problem for this type of game. So
yeah, this is great because it's multiplayer, online multiplayer, local multiplayer. So yeah, I'm want to play with another person. This is be great.
Yep. It's looking actually just very good. I'm not a person who's usually into shmups. I do know a lot of people who develop shmups, and the ones that I do know have been received well. This one seems to have it all. It's pretty cool. They've got a transformation mechanic where you can basically transform and become a boss for your for the person you're playing against. That's a pretty cool feature. I do wonder if, what if you both transform and you move to each other's sides? Then you can't attack each other, right? Is that a counter? Maybe?
This is definitely something I could recommend to a few people. Oh, shoot 'em up. Sorry, Stingy Tamale.
Yep,
shoot 'em up.
Yep.
But yeah, this is got that sort of classic vibe to it, retro vibe. So I know a few people who would absolutely love this, and the fact that it's online multiplayer and local multiplayer as well that's fantastic. I know some people like these games but would like to have these multiplayer experiences. So
I don't know if they just slapped a filter for the background, but it does look like the backgrounds are pixel art. At the very least, it looks like pixel art, and I'm pretty impressed with that. Because the backgrounds look great. That's kind of a sign of quality when not just the moving things look nice, but the kind of static things in the background also look nice. That's I gotta say I like it. I'm not a shmup person, so I'm probably not gonna put this on my wish list. But
same. But we all know who do really love this, and this is one that looks really well made and so polished. So I want to maybe ask a few of my friends, say, hey, would you be interested in this? And maybe they can also get back to me on whether it's any good or not.
Yep. Aki is saying that a lot of people have been happy with it too, so yeah. And with that, we've got another sort of classic arcade style game, although with a modern coat of paint, is Fighting X-Layer, also from Thursday this week. It comes with a full set of DLC too, for those willing to spend even more. But
I did, yeah. I saw this, and I saw the DLC, and I was like, oh goodness.
So this is an Unreal 4, basically classic. Basically classic fighter, arcade fighter. Yep, with a lot of different character designs. I'm pretty sure this is part of a series back in Arika. I believe that's a Japanese developer. I think it's a Japanese developer. But this is their first title on Steam. But yeah, it looks really good. It's got a lot of Unreal 4 games have a habit of looking kind of samey, and though I can tell this is an Unreal 4 engine game.
Wow, I'm just looking at the DLC, and it's like they're all skins.
They're all skins?
They're all, well, nearly all of them are skins, and they're going for like $3.99. Like, and that's like for a skin. That's cheeky. I would.
Yeah. It's definitely not the cheapest skins, but I know far worse offenders. So
yeah.
But yeah, if that's what they're looking to monetize and it's just skins, I'm not too upset about that.
No, because it's not something that if you don't have it, you're missing out. So yeah, that's fine if you're into buying different looks for your characters. Although I would personally would have preferred it to be cheaper.
Indeed. Akiho with the information. Yes, it apparently Skolo is an old SNK fighting character, so
okay.
This probably is part of a series, or at least they got rights to characters to add in them. So it's you know what? For those, again, fighters are not my genre, but I thought I saw this and it's like, you know what, this actually looks pretty neat. And what's nice is there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of animation lock either, which is something that I know annoys people who play games like is it Insidious? No. It's the DC fighter. I'm trying to remember the name.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. I used to play fighters.
Injustice, yes.
Yeah, Injustice. Yeah.
Thank you.
I used to play fighters when I was a kid. So, but not anymore. But seeing as, like, you know, there are a lot of very positive reviews for it, and, you know, as long as you get like fast response times and there's no sort of lag or anything like that, because there's online multiplayer, there's local multiplayer, so you know,
it's got 90% positive, and if it does it right and it's all about like hitting it at the right iframes, there doesn't seem to be a lot of animation lock. I've seen characters even be able to counter ultimate moves. That's a nice sign. It's a nice sign. So, because the thing with Injustice is once you have an ultimate move, it's like, well, I'm screwed. Like you can't do anything for like 5 seconds until the ultimate move is done. So that's kind of annoying.
Yeah. So although it's not for me, I think anyone who would love a new fighter to play, I think, you know, they would enjoy this.
Yeah, it looks pretty. It just looks pretty good. Again, not my genre, but people are definitely people who into this game are getting their fill. So I'm happy for them.
And it's on discount right now, 26% off. So it's £22.93. Okay. So yeah, that's quite a nice discount for a new release. Normally they do like 10% off or something. So yeah, that's quite nice.
And it's December 6th. So this week, if you want to get it discounted. Yeah. Oh, and this game probably takes a lot of graphical. This is probably the first game that's going to take a lot of. Yeah, 1060 is recommended. 1060 or better is recommended. So this is not not for your toaster PC. Most of the other games we talked about today are for toaster PCs, but this one's definitely not.
Yeah.
So, right. So, another title, you recommended this to me. A cheesy game.
Yeah, I first saw the title because I was looking for a funny name game, but then I was like looking at it even more, and I was like, yeah, I've got to mention this. This looks fantastic. So the premise is back to the roots platformer that strives to be easy to understand yet difficult to master. So you're a piece of cheese, and you get separated from your family, and now you're on a mission to get back to your family, and you have to go through all these difficulties and platformings, and you have to avoid all the evil mouses as well. So I was just like, this is great. It's in early access though, so yeah, but it looks like a hilarious game. You got your grandpappy in there as well and everything.
Did your dad make this? Because this is just a pun monster. Oh
my dad's
word.
not really that into puns, by the way.
Really?
Really? My dad's not the typical dad.
I feel like it's just like a brain disease that dads get. As he was like, oh, I have a kid, and there's like,
yeah,
puns.
I know.
Just puns.
My mum's more the pun master.
She stole his thunder. That's what she did.
I know.
Stole his thunder. That's what happened. She took the bullet for him. It's like, okay, I'm the pun master. But yeah, cheesy game. It's this sort of like, almost like, I guess an equivalent would be almost like Meat Boy, like a Meat Boy, but a little less hardcore. Like it seems a bit more casual of a platformer than Meat Boy.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. It's quite I mean, I would still get frustrated with it because it's a platformer. But I guess those that are looking to play a platformer, but they want something maybe a little bit easier. Yeah, it's a good game.
It is an early
and it's
access.
got a nice little story.
Oh yeah, it's got a story too. It's it is an early access, so buyer beware. But if you want to be the first person to review it, no one's reviewed it yet. So
yeah, and it's $3.99 right now. So there's like no discount or anything yet. So we can't really give you time on like average time or anything, or how long how long the game length is, but maybe it's in, if there's anything in the discussions. There's nothing in the discussions yet, so yeah, it's we can't really give you any more information, unfortunately.
More. But yeah, it's $4.99 US, $3.99 UK, of course, and yeah. It's one of those hidden gems that even I missed when I went through, but yeah, it actually looks quite charming. So
yeah,
a neat kind of idea. Now we are done with Thursday. We are on to Friday, but don't worry, there are still plenty of games to go through. So Friday we have the first one. Pirates of the Burning not Pirates of the Burning Sea, Pirates of the Polygon Sea. They're trying to reference Pirates of the Burning Sea. But yeah, so this is sort of a I think it's just single player, is it? Oh no, it has multiplayer. It has multiplayer as well.
Yeah.
This is sort of a a pirate, just a high seas piracy game. With just a lot of different missions. There's different missions you run on, and you complete quests, etc. It's just this pretty fully fledged ship RPG, piracy RPG. Yes.
So this is the one that I said I had maybe some gossip for it.
Oh, gossip. Okay, I'm ready.
So, this so the developers have actually developed another game, but under a different name, slightly different name. So and so that was the game was Beyond SOL, and the game that we're looking for was developed by Praxia Entertainment. The one that they developed previously was Praxia Entertainment Incorporated. And Beyond Soul was in an early access game, and it seems like, at least from what some people are saying, although it's gotten very positive reviews for the game, a lot of people are saying that the developers promised a lot more from it. They promised all these things and then they didn't deliver. So and then they just, after they released it, after they brought it out on, to full release, out of early access, they didn't really bother much with it anymore.
So they have a previous flop, or?
Well, I mean,
they have a previous reputation that they may be trying to run from. Yeah, previous reputation.
It's very positive reviews, 80%, and there's 142 users for the previous game. But I don't I think a lot of the, or at least some of the reviews, are going to be in early access, and people say, oh, I'm really enjoying this experience and this, that, and the other. And then, if you don't finish it, or you don't do what you said you were going to do. So yeah, but that was Beyond Soul. So
Beyond Soul. Is it still even on?
Yeah, it's on Steam.
It is.
Yeah, you buy Beyond Soul 4-pack as well. So it's a multiplayer game. So I think it's like has a sort of similar idea behind it. Maybe.
Yeah, that is very interesting. This one did officially come out of early access.
Yeah.
So maybe.
And that's the thing. That's what I was saying. It's like it came out of early access, but they didn't implement everything they said they were going to implement, according to people in the reviews.
Well,
so and
hopefully they're able to redeem themselves with this one. If they did develop a sort of bad relationship with some of the community. But yeah, I'm never one to be too vindictive about studios' past failings, because again, like, you don't necessarily know what's going on the inside. There could be different management now. There could be an entirely different set of teamwork in there. At the same time, it definitely makes a buyer beware situation. It's like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Yeah, for sure.
That said, so far, most people seem to be pretty okay with this title. And hopefully they are getting, a reasonable number of hours out of it. I'm seeing like 14, 17, 11, 23. Yeah, so it looks like some people are definitely getting their experience out. But yeah, there are certain studios that I am a bit more vindictive against than others, just because it's not burn me twice, but burn me 6 or 7 times. Just like, okay, I'm done. I'm done with this. EA.
Yeah, there are a few disgruntled people, so buyer beware. I suppose if you weren't expecting a certain thing, maybe this is fine. I think some people are. It's functional, it's playable, it's even somewhat enjoyable, but there's no point. You sail around buying and selling goods, attacking ships, and fighting sea beasts, but there's nothing you're working towards except for better ships to do more of the same. And in the same way, I dislike MMOs, as we simply grind for the sake of more grinding.
So I think it's someone who more dislikes the core design of the game rather than...
Yeah.
I could see a lot of people, like, because I'm hearing that, as like, oh, getting better ships, trading. No, that sounds pretty fun to me.
Yeah. I think, it's like, I think if I was playing the single player sort of thing, I might be okay, but I feel like I would need to work towards something. Like, if there's like a story or something like that. And that's for me, that's a cool thing. It's like I would need some sort of story, because when I play MMOs, I'd like there to be some sort of story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, indeed.
And
I do like that.
That's what keeps me going back. So yeah.
Yeah, that's why Final Fantasy. That's why all the MMOs I've ever played have always been very story heavy, and they have to have a coherent story. It's not like Ion, where it's just like story beat, story beat, story beat, but how are all these things connected?
See you, Stingy Tamale. Thank you for popping in. Thank you.
All right, thank you for stopping by, Stingy. I really appreciate it, and yeah, see you next week. Well, see you hopefully sooner than that. I'll probably drop in one of your streams. But yeah, well, you know, the games I do enjoy, like Guild Wars 2, Final Fantasy 14, Elder Scrolls Online, all of these games have sort of this continuous narrative that, you know, has variable quality at times, but the fact is they try to present you a continuous narrative, and there are at least points where you get that payoff, that story payoff. It's like, I just learned about this, that is this thing, this question I've had in my head for so long. I get that, you know, resolved, and that's a nice feeling. This type of game, Pirates of the Burning Sea, looks to me more like a sandbox, which is generally something I would probably avoid most of the time. I know plenty of people who love sandboxes. It's just not my thing. The one sandbox I can tolerate is Black Desert Online, because even though that is a sandbox, there is still a ton of lore to learn about. Every character has lore, every item has lore, every creature has lore, every location has lore. And there is a sort of continuous, like, main story quest line too. So, there's of course that.
I want to ask Top Gun Bunny about it, because he really likes pirate games. So maybe it's one that we can maybe suggest to him to play on his Try 20 stream, and he can give us the full feedback about it.
Oh yes, indeed. I'll have to like drop that as like, hey, maybe you should check out the list of stuff that we talked about last week.
yeah.
But yeah. Okay, so enough on pirates. On to once again a pixel art god game. Like, I think, was it last week or a couple weeks ago where we talked about that AI that was basically taking over humanity? Well, here is a game called Simmiland.
Oh, I think you missed one.
Oh, did we skip one?
Yes.
Crap! I skipped one on the list. Here I was doing all this like roll up. Thea 2. Sorry about that. Thea 2, The Shattering is our next title. So this is based on some Slavic myth. It's sort of a civilization builder, kinda. It's more like you're the last remnants of humanity, and you're trying to make a foothold for humanity to survive amidst, you know, all the horrors and all the mythical creatures, these sort of Slavic myths that are trying to take you guys down. And the neat thing is that it has a card battle mechanic instead, because I'm not an RTS player. It has the overworld that's kind of like Civilization, but then it has like a combat system that's, you know, more of a card-based system, which is very interesting to me, I have to admit.
The card game element to it is like made it like more interesting to people that, you know, I know that enjoy those sort of games. So yeah, I know like more people I can definitely recommend this to, probably. Although saying that, a lot of people that have been playing it said the first one is much better than this one.
Oh, really?
Apparently.
So I should maybe check out Thea 1.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Or play this one first and then
true.
And then
maybe
play
that would be a better
Thea
idea.
1. But this is still in early access, so you know, it you know, with all the, you know, complaints about, although the first one was better because X, Y, and Z, they might still like implement those things. So.
Yep. So they say that the early access period will take approximately 6 months, which means come June or come May or June, it should be a full release. So we may end up having to check this out again come then. But You know what? Now I have to go and check out Thea and add that to my wish list. So maybe if I am able to check out Thea between now and then, I may actually be very interested in Thea too. So yeah.
Yeah, so six months time we'll give it another look and see. So it's got 10% off right now. It's $17.99. Again, yeah, I would wait. I would wait to see if any of those things that people have not enjoyed, they've like changed and implemented and improved it instead. So yeah.
It's $22.50 in the US, and yeah, I do really like the artwork. The artwork's very well done. It's made by a UK and a Polish team, so they have 3 UK developers and three Polish developers on the team. So they have like two locations that they're working out of.
Wow!
Nice. So it's this cool sort of collaboration between UK and Poland devs.
Oh, I like that when it's nice collaborating going on.
Yep. Yeah. And you know what? I've only ever had good experiences out of Polish devs. I don't know, like Poland gaming culture it seems so like it's very big on making excellent systems and sort of a compelling feeling of progression. That's something that just about every Polish game seems to have that I've experienced. It's kind of neat to sort of see like this sort of that sort of like strong sort of cultural identity that you look at the game and it's just like, is this a Polish game? Like you just start to recognize little tells.
Yeah.
And that's why I looked up the developer, because I was looking at it, I was like, this feels like a Polish game. But yeah,
it's exciting stuff coming out of Poland. Definitely.
Indeed, they're definitely like Poland. There's the little giants of gaming. That I like to call them. There's smaller countries that put out like really good games. Norway. Norway is on that list for sure. Austria, Poland. Not so much Greece. Unfortunately, the Greek video game industry has largely collapsed. But they did like Darkfall.
Okay.
No, wait, it wasn't Darkfall. It was Age of Camelot. Age of Camelot came out of Greece.
Yeah.
That was a Greek developed game. Yep. So there's kind of these small giants. Oh, Taiwan's another one. Taiwan's kind of like they're the more polished. Their industry is like a much more polished version of the Chinese gaming industry. So they have like games that you may have seen out west. That Taiwan has some pretty good games too. So yeah, it's just like all these little giants that are starting to pop up in the gaming industry.
Yeah.
But yeah, Thea 2. It's in early access, so I recommend waiting unless you really, really, really want to check it out. It is kind of a bit on the pricier side, but the developers have proven themselves in the past. And hopefully they develop this one into something that'll be a worthy successor of the first game.
Yeah. So what we got next?
Right. Now, on to Simmiland.
Yay!
So, this is a god sim. You create mankind, and basically you're able to do things based on the power of their faith. So when they pray to you, you get a few points that you can spend. So...
yeah, you spend those faith points on cards you can play, and you get a limited amount of cards.
Yep.
And at the end of your cards is the end, is the death
apocalypse,
of the civilization. So you can play on endless mode. But you don't get any achievements apparently. So, which I quite like.
Yep.
So yeah,
it's kind of like you have a multiple playthrough kind of thing. From what I understand, it's about an hour playthrough. The first for each time you do it, it's about an hour that it takes to go from the beginning to the end.
Yeah, it's a quick
Yeah.
but relaxing 10 to 60 minutes per gameplay. So that's nice. So you got like, you just want to go in, have a quick play, 10 minutes. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yep. And you can, be a benevolent god or a not so benevolent god. So it's just a lot of
Yeah,
different cool design
this
decisions.
reminds me of Black and White a lot of Black and White, especially with the the faith points sort of thing. They pray to you, you get points which you then can spend. So yeah, it's
I'll probably give you about 2 to 4 hours of gameplay. Looks like.
Okay.
But yeah, sock pop.
That's like the campaign mode. That's the limit when you get limited cards. Yeah.
Seems they also developed a game called Bamboo EP. What am I looking at? Collection of bamboo themed games. Interesting. They really like the sort of wild pixel art where it's like a high movement, very high movement sprites. But yeah, interesting. So they definitely have this aesthetic. So
yeah, chunky sprites.
Yeah, lots of hive movement. It's yeah. So there have been some buyer bewares on this in the reviews. Even some of the positive reviews, they mentioned that if you close out, I don't know if this bug is fixed yet. It could have been, but if you close out the game, it erases what cards you had, like in the middle of a game.
Oh.
So if you're playing a session, complete that session. Hopefully that's fixed by now, but I did see that in one of the reviews when I was initially looking at it.
Oh, okay.
So there may be bugs, but hopefully those have been fixed. Because I do believe this was in early access for a while.
Yeah.
And they did just add another patch, 1.4.7. So, yep. It's I recommend it for those looking for a god game, a new god game.
I mean, yeah, it's $3.99. It's I might play this actually because it's like I used to play Black and White, and so it's bringing me back to that, and it's like, yeah, I might give it a go. It looks like kind of adorable.
Yeah. There's around 20 different cards, 13 biome types, 30 inventions, 40 plus different resources, and 20 plus different achievements. So it's all these there's a lot of replay value.
Yeah.
So, and with 13 different biomes, that means you have at least 13 very unique games that you're going to be playing. So, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's very, very cool. Next title is Dave. Very simply titled. This, I'm immediately... Oh, there's so many platformers that have recently come out with this sort of shadow front ground and then colorful black background. I don't know if the aesthetic has a name, but there was one game. Was it Outlanders? Let me see. I don't know what the name is, but it's basically a platformer where the primary mechanic is that you can create temporary blocks. And I guess you also have like a jump shot, and you're just it's just the story of a shepherd who's off to become a hero, apparently. So yeah,
it does look like that kind of sort of limbo aesthetic kind of thing, that sort of shadow kind of games, and this one's more colorful to see.
Yeah, the background detail is a bit more noticeable, and that is quite nice because it is sort of noticeable. Like, hey, this front ground shadow, yes, it's striking, but I mean, if we're all being honest, it's really more of a way to save money to make a good-looking game. Yeah. But here, you know what? I'll tolerate it again because it's at the very least they did it in a creative way. Like, I'm gonna look at this and not immediately assume it's that other game, which maybe it's Wasteland.
Wasteland. Wasteland's like
No, that's not it. Nope.
No.
Man, it's gonna drive me crazy. Eventually, I'll think of it.
you know you'll switch off. You switch off this, and it will.
Yeah, it'll just
It will
come to
come to
me.
you.
But
Wasteland's like an old game. Yeah.
Yep.
But
But they've got detailed backgrounds, so it's almost like, you know, in here
Yeah.
I'm willing to accept that it's a bit more of a stylistic decision to have the shadow foreground to give it a sort of mood. But yeah, it looks like an interesting game. It's developed by someone Roseyev. Oh, yeah, it's probably a Russian developer considering the two languages are Russian and English. Roseyev. Yep.
And they did like a Tetris type game before that as well. So
yeah, unfortunately, all of the reviews are in Russian. I understand this one where they're just saying like it's a good game, but Pushaya igra. Igra means game, and Pushaya, I believe, is like nice or something like that. If I remember it, but yeah, there's can't read any of the reviews.
Yeah, it's like combines it. Someone says combines the aesthetics of Super Meat Boy and Limbo with the tough but fair gameplay akin to I Want to Be the Guy or VVVVV.
Oh, VVVV. I've been playing VVVV a bit recently, and that's a pretty good game. Pretty good. Very well, yeah, very very good. Oh, there was a German review.
Oh, okay. This goes for $5.75 in the UK. So if you guys want to give this a go,
yeah, and it can probably run on a computer if you have a relatively, you know, not even a high end, but just a fairly new computer. You can probably run it. So, yep. It looks fun. It looks like it's a fun platformer. I think I have enough platformers in my wish list right now. But yeah, it's pretty striking and it's very pretty. And at long last, we are at the final game in our list. Friday, November 30th is closing out with a real funny one. Escape Doodland. Or Doodland?
Doodland.
I think it's supposed to be Doodland, maybe.
Yeah.
Doodland. So this is another one of those sort of like classically illustrated platformer games that have sort of seen a renaissance with Cuphead, basically.
Yeah.
Kind of reminding people that, hey, classic animation still exists.
But yeah, this is like a nice sort of like runner, which is great, like side-scrolling runner, or runner. It looks hilarious and challenging as well. You know, I don't think it's something I could do.
Yeah, it's definitely fast reactions.
Yeah. So, but it's something like if you've looking for some sort of challenge, definitely. Yeah, I love the animation of it. You know, when I saw this, I thought, oh wow, yeah, this is fantastic.
It's very striking. It's kind of like sort of. Man, there's been some other sort of these like sketchbook like type games because as you can see the background is graph paper, so they're very much trying to imply that yes, this is just a kid's drawings kind of thing. Yeah, and it's very imaginative, somewhat unsettling, and you know, some of the art's kind of creepy. And it's just this overall sort of like things that, you know, a kid would come up with just out of their imagination, or someone or an artist who has been drinking a lot. But yeah, it's got a pleasant, and despite like the sort of intentional try to look like an amateur's drawing, it has very good color theory. So
yeah,
just want to say that very good color theory. This is something that the Hardest Dungeon was sort of missing, where they had some color combinations that were not good, and that's kind of pointed out that hey, this is an amateur doing the work. But here, you know, even though it's trying to make itself look like simplistic drawing, the color theory is on point. So.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's been given 100% positive reviews.
Wow.
Only 11 people though, but still, that's quite good. And it's 20% off right now, and it's $5.75 UK. But yeah,
Apparently, it was
definitely.
supposed to come out in August, but they had a delay. But
Oh,
hey, kudos for them to actually like making a post about delaying the release. So
yeah, yeah. So Death and Destruction came into Doodland. This happy and joyful land is going to change. You play as one of Doodlers, a peaceful inhabitant of Happy Doodle World. Attacked by a merciless monster, there are only two options: run as fast as you can or die.
yep.
So yeah, very very simple premise, but
Weird. It's yeah, it's a neat game. Let me see. Have these guys developed anything else? Fluky Machine? No, it doesn't look to be so. This seems to be their first game on Steam. And you know what? It's a pretty good first game. So
yeah.
they should be very proud of what they've been able to accomplish. So, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it's about an hour and a half long. So not a very long game.
Okay, then probably get it now while it's on promotion, or
yeah, it's $8.
You know, wait till it comes out. You know.
Yeah.
Wait until it, you know, it's on Steam sale, because, you know, it's fair enough if it's like, you know, the first game or whatever, but you got to remember how long something is and how that compares to other games that are similar to it, and it's like, you know, people don't want to pay so much for like such a short experience.
Yep. Yeah, it's definitely on the expensive end for the time, but it's, you know what, if you instead of having a latte, you want a 1.5 hour game, this may be the one to check out. So yeah, and with that, we have finished the release list for the week of the 26th.
I think this has been a really good list this week. You know, lots of different kinds of games, lots of interesting titles, and, you know, some really polished efforts, I think.
Oh yeah,
really good.
This definitely keeps me optimistic about future release lists. So I'm very looking forward to, because winter's kind of a big release time too. So there's going to be a lot of more games coming out. We'll probably have a drought in January though. Well, probably a little bit of a drought.
Yeah, I think when that happens, you know, if there are very few games coming out or something, we'll have to do you know, what we played over the holidays, and
maybe have some honorable mentions of the horrible games.
Yes, honorable mentions, and maybe
dishonorable mentions.
Dishonorable mentions. Yeah, no, absolutely. But, you know, maybe talk about what we're thinking of buying next, or what we did buy during the Steam sales, Christmas sales, because, you know, there's a lot on our wish list, both of us.
Yep.
So yeah, it's like what are we thinking of buying during this drought?
Oh, man, yeah, I trimmed my wish list and it's already like back to what I trimmed it from. So, but yeah, let me see. Ooh, I guess it's time to Roadypie. Let everyone know where they can find your stuff on the internet.
Right. Well, you know, you can catch me on Twitch, and I'll be continuing playing a Wonder Song. Struggling to play through it. For me, when I play a game, most of the time I do need to get through it. I don't want to like do half measures. I think there's only one game I've sort of like picked up and then put down and never want to pick it up again. But for this, I want to know what happens at the end, despite me struggling to muddle through it. So you can watch me do that on Tuesday, 9:30 UK time. I won't be on this Thursday, but I normally am on Thursday at UK time, 9:30.
Okay.
And what about yourself?
Yeah, you can find me, Dewey Bear, on YouTube, where this VOD will be posted, as well as on Twitch. I stream Wednesdays and Thursdays, and of course Saturdays, and of course Sundays. I spend my time on here with you guys doing the podcast. So, check me out. I'm looking forward to it. I will be having some crazy times because it's the holidays, but I will always be sure to let you guys know on Twitter that when I am not going to be on stream. I really wish they would give us back that the little like post, like you could leave posts on your Twitch page. Man,
yeah.
I'm sad that they took away that.
Yeah,
That was so
no,
nifty to say that, hey, I'm not streaming today.
Yeah, I was looking for that the other day because I needed to let people know something, and it was just like, okay, never mind, because not everyone is on your Discord. You know, I have a Discord channel, but not everyone is on that Discord channel. So
yeah, I have a little applet that it just reposts what I post on Twitter underneath my videos, so that way people can see my announcements when I'm like, hey, no stream today. But yeah, I wish it was more of an integrated thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, and with that, I am going to put up the post game, and thank you everyone for showing up. Y'all have a great day, or stay and chat in the post game for a little while.
Thank you guys. Thank you.